what's up, guys? John Forster here. We got two hammer teams coming into the rack. Number 19, Purdue coming in. They got loaded with talent. Number 6, Devin Schroeder at 125. They got number 5, Coleman coming in. Going to be some big matchups at the rack. They got a bunch of other top-ranked guys. And then at 4 o'clock, Rutgers is taking on the Golden Gophers of Minnesota, one of the top national powers. They are loaded. They have 8 out of 10 weight classes ranked. And when you think of Minnesota, you think of one thing. You think of the big boys. You think of the heavyweights. We're going back to Brock Lesnar. Then coming in Cole Conrad. We know of his 2 national titles. Then you got Big Tony Cassiope with his 2 national titles. And now could be the baddest man of them all. Gable is coming out to the stable to the rack. I got my man Erik Wnuck on, coming in to break down these matches with you. He's going to be dropping some knowledge, so let's have some fun.
Hey, what's up, Erik?
What's happening, John?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Excited for some wrestling this weekend.
Absolutely.
How you making out?
It's almost a year since we had the Big Tens where you and I were going to sit there together, but a lot's changed since then. So different way of looking at things.
Yeah, normally we'd be set, heading up there, ready to head, thinking plans to head up there on Sunday, grab a White Claw and watch some wrestling. But,
we got the Big Ten Network, so we're ready to roll.
We're good to go. So, yeah, looking forward to this match. We got some big teams coming in on Sunday, Purdue and Minnesota. First off, we got 2 new knights in the rankings. Rob Kennard comes in at number 25 after his win over Elijah Cleary. And John Paz, he steps in right up to the front of the house at number 12 after taking out number 8, Jordan from Ohio State. So what do you think about those 2 individuals, the matchups last weekend, and then we'll get into their matchups coming in this weekend?
Yeah, well, when you talk about Paz, you talk about Kennard, these were 2 blue chip recruits for Rutgers. This is where we want them to be. I think expectations are that both these kids are going to hit the podium. I think Paz is going to hit the podium multiple times. Always tough coming in as a true freshman, but the one thing now is the Big Ten's on notice because John Paz coming back, Colonia wrestler, huge state champ last year, trained by Donnie DeFilippis. Okay, this is a kid who attacks. Okay, if you saw his re-attack in the first match against Michigan, this is not a true freshman. Okay, this is a kid who almost seems like a seasoned vet out there. But the one thing, John, I'm going to point out, which guys haven't seen yet about Poznanski, his bottom game is that of a junior, okay? This guy's coming in as a true freshman, and he likes to score from the bottom. Think David Taylor. He's going to get your leg. He's going to reverse you. He's going to look to put you on his back from bottom. So this kid's got a lot of tools. He's aggressive, really nice ankle pick, okay? Really good ducks, re-attacks. I think this kid's a seasoned vet, and he's only 2 matches into his career.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that's something that most people, when they make that transition from high school to college, they struggle with that bottom game. I think he's a few steps ahead. I know you know about that. Donnie DeFilippis training at Yale Street. You got your kid over there. Maybe we'll see him in a few years, so that's going to be a good time. But yeah, so let's talk about these matchups this weekend. It's kind of, they're going right back in the fire, these 2. It's going to be good to see how they respond. We got first off, Kennard. He takes on number 5, Kendall Coleman, and then he takes on, he's going to take on number 7, Brayton Lee from Minnesota. So he got 2 studs coming right off the bat off of that big win.
Yeah, it's tough getting Coleman after you get ranked in the rankings. It's like you make your way to the top and then bam, you get 2 hammers back to back the next week. So what I like about Coleman, he's got a good blast double, really works off the ties really well, good movement. The kid's got a really good aggressive nature. So I don't love the matchup, but listen, Kennard's a blue chipper, man, 2-time state champ. I like what I saw the last 4 periods. Big upset last week, okay? I just want to see a little bit more physicality. I want to see a full 3 periods. If I think he does that, I think he can give Coleman a run, but it's definitely going to be a tough go for him.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of like a no-lose situation for him. I think he got 2 people in the top 7. Let's see what he could do. He got that big win, got into the rankings. Should be good. Now, we got Oz. He's taken on number 11, Max Lyon from Purdue, as well as number 19, Owen Webster from Minnesota. What are your thoughts on those 2 men?
Yeah, first of all, I think Paz matches up really good about Owen Webster. I'm actually not that concerned about that match. I think the match against Max Lyon, it's almost like a trap match, okay? You know, if this is Paz 3 years in the future, I think he takes this no problem. Max Lyon's a seasoned vet. This kid's a tough wrestler. If you recall, he knocked off Janzer in the Big Tens last year, okay? After Janzer got the big win, I think sudden victory. So this kid's battle tested, okay? He's no slouch, okay? Top 20, had a big upset. I think he's pushing the top 15 now. So I hope this isn't a trap match for Poznanski coming off the big win. But like I said, Paz is really, I mean, his mental toughness, man, is better than any freshman you see. I don't think he's going to be sleeping on this guy. I think you're going to see the full drive from him. So I think he takes it. But again, Max is tough. I can't pick line because if I do, Donnie won't let me in his garage Friday. So I got to go with Poznanski. But it's going to be a tough match. I like the matchup with the Minnesota kid better. I think John takes that one. So I think he goes 2-0, but don't sleep on Max Lyon. Tough wrestler.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to see what Paz comes out with. So let's talk about these matches. First, they're going to be taken on at 2 o'clock. They got number 19 Purdue. Purdue has some hammers. Number 25 or number 6 at 125. They got Devin Schroeder. He was ranked number 2. Had an upset. You know, the other weekend got pinned by Wisconsin. That stuff happens. You know, that happens. They also got, we talked about Kendall Coleman, number 5 at 57. I think those two are going Purdue. Hopefully we could pull something out there. We're kind of heavy favorites at 33, 41, and 49. I think Mike Van Brill has no problem with Alec White.
Michael Van Brill.
Yep, you got it. And 33, Sammy Alvarez versus Nate Cummings, and then Seabass. I think it doesn't matter who Seabass is wrestling. He's going to take it. He has a tough opponent, Parker Filius, number 19, but I don't see him having any trouble there.
Yeah, I think you see more of the same with Seabass against Filius. Filius is a tough kid. Ideally, you'd like to see Seabass get the pin here. I think he's going to get the pin in the next match. I think he's going to get his first fall of the year. Filius is going to be a tough. I think you're going to see more of the same from Seabass. He's going to wear this kid down. Filius is a fringe top 20 wrestler, so he's no slouch. But I see this going the same way, like 9-1, 10-1. I think it's going to be tough to get the tech on this kid. I think he's going to be fighting. But this is bonus points. Rutgers is getting bonus points at 33-41. Sammy Alvarez, a little rusty last week, but I think he comes on strong. I think we win 3 of the first 4 matches. Nicky Aguilar, man, the only thing I'm going to say there is, John, come on, man, finish your takedowns, okay? Let's get that offense going. I think he's got a tough road with Schroeder, but I want to see him fight. You know, he had a tough first 2 matches. This kid's got some pedigree. I like how he wrestled in the Big Tens last year, but time for him to step up. But again, I think Rutgers gets 3 of the first 4.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, Aguilar, I think he'll be coming back. I think we're going to see that Aguilar later in the year. He has 2 tough matchups this weekend, so we might not see that, but I think he's going to rebound and might not have the best record going into Big Tens, but I think he's going to make some noise in the Big Tens and the national tournament. So looking at that, the first 5 weight classes, it's, you know, looks like Rutgers probably going to win 3. Purdue's going to win 2. Then you go down, and it seems like 5 toss-ups. I think
it's the match, man.
You know, Rutgers needs to pull off 3 of those matches to seal it. You know, 2 matches to get it with bonus. So let's talk about some of those matches. What's your thought on the 65 and 74 matches?
Yeah, I'll jump ahead of 74 simply because Pagano's had a little bit of a rough start. I mean, it's Pagano. You know, at 74, we're talking about Joey Grello. I'm going back in time here. Listen, we know Joey Grello's had trouble with his offensive attacks through the years. Okay, that's something he has to work on. I like this matchup a lot for Joey. This kid from Purdue, okay, Emil, he's had trouble on bottom before. He's already been ridden out in the match. He's already given up kind of riding time. Joey excels on top. We know he can turn people. I think it's going to be more the same this match. Even if he doesn't get his offense going, which has always been Joe's Achilles heel, okay, I think he could turn this kid. At minimum, he'll get the ride out. I think we take 174. I'm pretty confident about that. 165, man, let me tell you something. I feel bad for Donner because when you look at the studs at 65, beginning of the season, you say freshman from Purdue, that's where Donner can get a win. But this isn't your daddy's Purdue, man. Garrett Nienhaus, this is a tough kid. Okay, he's got a huge pedigree. He's a top 15 overall recruit, 2-time Pennsylvania state champ. This kid was a Super 32 champ at 184, John. He's cutting down to 165. I think he's like 5'11". That is not a good matchup for Donner. You know, I want to take Donner against a freshman. Freshman can lose. We know that. But this kid's 3-0. This kid's got pedigree. I watched a little bit of his last 2 matches. He's aggressive. And again, I don't like the body type against Donner. I think it's going to be a tough go for us at 65. So I think we split here.
Yeah, I agree. I had my eye on this kid. I think he's coming off a couple wins. That's going to be a tough matchup, but we really got a good matchup, favorability, stylistically wise with Joe Grello. Hopefully, he gets back on that horse. He had a couple very top six ranked opponents to start the year, and this is where he might be able to turn the corner. So 84, we talked about the Paz matchup. That's going to be a very tight one. Hopefully, he pulls it out. 197, we got Billy Janzer, heartbreaker last weekend, lost 3-1. Tougher opponent than I think he was ranked. He draws number 21, Thomas Pinella. Was a heavyweight last year.
Yeah.
These two are kind of meeting in the middle. Janzer's going up, he's going down. What are your thoughts on that, man?
This is almost like 65 in the sense that, let me tell you something. Number one, I love Janzer. Okay, he's fun. All right, I'm really looking forward to how he grows into this weight in the next couple of years. I still think he's a big kid. I think he's a little undersized for 197 right now. He's given up a little bit of height. Pinola was a heavyweight. This is a strong, physical kid with good pedigree. He was an NCAA qualifier at heavyweight. So this is a really tough matchup. Pinola's a strong kid. He attacks. We know what Janzer wants to do. He wants to tie up. He wants to get his inside trip. He wants to get his, underhooks. Okay. Let's see how it goes against Pinola. But listen, Janzer surprised me. This kid has got grit. We know that if he wins last week, we knock off Ohio State, okay?
Mm-hmm.
As Scotty Goodell says, all these moral victories for Rutgers, it's got to end. You got to get your hand raised. So I think Janzer's pissed. I think he's going to come in. I think he's got something to prove. I think this is a pure toss-up. I don't want to call it either way. I'm just going to enjoy it. But again, I would like to see, kind of like I was talking about with Joey Grello, I'd like to see a little bit more of a leg attack from Janzer here. I think he's got to develop that a little bit. Otherwise, he's going to be a fringe top 12 kid. I think he's got to develop that. But again, that's why the rest of the matches.
Gotcha. I agree. And then at heavyweight, we got Palucci. He's coming off. He faced number 2, number 8. Close match with number 8, lost 4-2. Now he gets an unranked opponent, Marcus Grant. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, I don't know a ton about Grant. I know he kind of came over from Oregon State. He was a Pac-12 place winner, senior grad, about a 500 record career. I like Colucci in this match. Colucci's a grizzled veteran. He tends to win these matches. Okay, he tends to get them out. But again, it's hard for me to say because I haven't seen a lot of Jamarcus Russell. Let's see how it goes. I think if it comes down to this match, and it can, I did a bunch of scenarios, John, and this match could come to heavyweight depending on what happens between 84 and 97. And if we give up unnecessary bonus points, what if Nikki gets pinned in the first period again? Okay, at 25, we're running from behind. So it could come down to heavyweight. I hope it doesn't. If it does, I'm going Colucci here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think this is where Colucci comes out. I'm gonna hopefully ring that cowbell for him if the match does come down to it. But yeah, it is gonna be a tough one. He is, Jamarcus Grant went to a couple schools before. Might be finding his home at Purdue, but I do think Colucci is going to win this one. My overall sense in this match, I feel like Rutgers, they faced 2 top opponents. They faced Michigan. They faced Ohio State. Close match with Ohio State. You said moral victories. I do feel like if they wrestle to the ability that they wrestled at in those 2 matches, they take this one somewhere getting 6 victories in this match. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say on Purdue, they have the same growing pains as Rutgers as a program. They have a tendency to kind of, fall back in situational wrestling. That's why the kid got pinned at 25. They struggle with that. And 2 other things. They gave up bonus points last week where they were up, okay? A couple of their studs were up by 9, gave up a late takedown. We've had those issues on our side. Kid down 7 with 30 seconds left, gives up 2 points, gives up the major, things like that. Purdue struggle with that. So I think it's a very even matchup. But at the end of the day, I like Rutgers' chances here. I think where we're strong, they're not as strong, okay? Where we're going to give up some bonus points, I think we're going to get them right back. I like how we match up from 74 and heavyweight. I think we take it in a close one.
Gotcha. Nice. So now let's move on to the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Let's talk about that matchup. I think it's I look at the matchups. I see them favored in about Minnesota favored in about 6 matches.
Yep.
I think 25. You got number 9 Patrick McGee versus Nick Aguilar. 49. You got Michael Blockus. He's ranked number 19. He faces Mike Van Brill. I got 57. You got number 7, Brayton Lee. Brayton Lee owns a win.
He's a tough wrestler.
Ohio State, number 1 ranked guy last year from Ohio State. beat Mike Van Brill. Who's the guy that beat Mike Van Brill last week? Sammy Sasso. He has a win over
Yeah.
Sammy Sasso. And then so he's a tough out. 65, you got number 16, Andrew Sparks, going up against Donner. Again, Donner, tough kid, getting these really tough matchups. 65 is a very deep weight.
You laugh though, John. I like Brett Donner's matchup against Minnesota more than I do Purdue. I think Donner's going to have a tough day. Okay, it's nothing against him. We're not really deep at 65. It's just like you said, it's two tough kids, but I think he matches up a little bit better against Sparks. But again, top 20 kid, and you can't sleep on that.
Gotcha. Yep. And then, 74, you got Jake Aller versus Sto Grello. Jake Aller's ranked number 13. I am excited about this matchup because I do want to see Grello at that level. He finished in the top 16 in the country 2 years ago. I think this is a match that Grello needs to win to say, hey, I'm here. I'm here to, make some noise. I'm here to challenge to get on that podium this year. What you thought was coming 2 years ago, had that injury. He's coming back. I think this is an important match for him.
Yeah, I love Joey Grillo. Let me tell you something. There's a part of me that wants him to come back next year, this being a free year. Obviously a 6-year in the program, but I would love for him to come back next year. Listen, this is a kid who's always kind of scratched the surface of getting to that national tournament and doing some damage. We've talked about it. The offensive tax, they have to come, okay? This far in his career, it's kind of tough to take it up to that next level. But I agree with you. If he wants to make a statement, if Grello wants to show that he belongs in that top 15, that top 10, make a run to the blood round, these are the matches he has to win. And this season's tough because it's only a Big Ten schedule. You only get so many opportunities to get a ranking. He falls here. It's going to be a really tough grind for Grello. I would love for him to go 2-0 this weekend. I think it's possible. I think people have sort of slept on Grello after the beginning of the season. This kid's got talent. He's won big wins for us before. He does really well on that 20 to 15 range kid, okay? He's gotten big wins. It's really the top 10 where he's had trouble. I'm not saying he's going to take this match. It's definitely a toss-up, but I like Grello this weekend.
Yeah. I think I would like to see him pull this one off. And then also you got, let's talk about the heavyweight. The big boy. We got Gable Steveson coming out. He's going against Colucci. Colucci did not give up the major to number 2 Mason Paris. They say that's a 2-man race there for the national championship. What do you think about that one?
Let me tell you something. Mason Patterson ain't Gable Steveson, okay? I'm just gonna be straight up here. There's not a better heavyweight in the division right now. People call him a show-em. Some people call him an ass. I call him a badass, man. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna try to put Colucci on his back, okay? And if you remember the match with Colucci and Paris, Colucci banged up his leg. He was really struggling. I give this kid all the credit in the world because anyone would have said he's gonna give up at best the major. Okay, Colucci fought hard. Only gave up 3 points. The problem is a kid like Gable Steveson, he's going to go after you, okay? If you hurt a leg, he's going to go after that leg, okay? And it's nothing disrespectful. This kid's all business. I mean, this kid's this close from making a world team, okay? If Colucci can avoid getting pinned, and that is not a knock on Colucci. This kid's been a warrior for us since coming from Lehigh. I'm just being honest. If he can avoid staying off his back, that's a huge win for Rutgers. I pray this doesn't come down to a 5-point match coming down to heavyweight, because if it does, this guy's going to be out there firing with both guns. We've got to take care of business at 184. We got to take care of business at 197. We do that. We hold serve at 33-41. MVP, if my boy Van Brill can knock off Blockus, I think we take this match.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. First off, I think Gable is a killer. That's what you want. That he has ice water in his veins. I think it's going to come down to him and Spencer Lee for the Hodge Trophy this year. You look at his resume so far this year, he has 2 tech falls, 1 pin, one major decision, and that major decision came off the number 3 guy in the country, exactly. Tony Cassiope. So he's not going to, not go after that leg. He's going to hurt. Yeah, he's out there looking for the kill. So I do feel like you got to pencil in 6. And if Colucci could get anything less than 6, that's great. And I love the man. No knock on him. That's just who he's going up against. Yeah. I like what you said about Mike Van Brill. I think that this is where he makes the statement.
Yep.
Rutgers is going to win as long as Alvarez and Seabass is out there. They get 33-41. They get 97. Billy Janzer has an unranked opponent, Garrett Joles. I think this is a chance for Mike Van Brel to show he belongs. He's a national qualifier. He was at 41 2 years ago, seemed to be cutting too much weight. 57 might have been too big for him. He faced number 2, number 8. Now it's his chance to go up against number 19, and I think he could solidify this win. We could get bonus maybe at 33 and 41 like Seabass and Alvarez did
I'm
last
week.
week.
John, your first fall of the year for Seabass.
Yeah, he gets a pin. Alvarez gets a major. We give up 6 at heavyweight. Listen, we split this 5-5. The boys wrestle. I said against Purdue, if they wrestled like they've been wrestling the last 2 weeks, they could win this. They need to do a little bit more. They need to bring it to that next level, and I think they could. I think they could take it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. I did a bunch of scenarios. I can see Rutgers winning in a big. I call it an upset only because Minnesota is just such a national power historically. Okay, when you think of kind of the keepers of the flame and all that good stuff, these are those kind of legendary wins you want to pull off. John, you were there with me back in Nebraska, and that was just a huge day for Rutgers, okay? I want to see that again. I want to take out a historic program. This is the day to do it. We almost did it last week, but like Goodell says, you got to get your hand raised. We got to come through on this one. I see us anywhere from winning this thing 22-16. I also see just the opposite. I see a scenario where we can lose this thing 16-20, 22, 13-25, something of that nature. It's just all about matchups. And you're right. Van Brel is the key to this match, in my opinion. This kid is really coming on, okay? I love the way he's wrestling. He always wrestles tight matches, okay? But this is a case where if he wants to make some noise, if he wants to be this year's, Scott Del Vecchio, Ken Theobald, okay? That unknown quantity to come in there and make a run the national tournament, okay? Goodell's really put some really, really good All-Americans that no one kind of had penned early in the year. I think this is Mikey Van Brel's year, but these are the matches he's got to win. He's got to go 2-0 this weekend if he's going to make it happen. If he takes this match, again, 3 out of the top 4, we just hold serve. Brello does what he's supposed to do. Paz comes out and does what he's supposed to do. Janzer gets a big win. It don't matter what Gable does.
Yep, I agree. All right. Thanks a lot, Eric. Thanks for coming on, dropping your knowledge. We'll see you guys at the rack, and we'll be coming out with more videos. Next week. Be sure to follow. Get us on iTunes. We'll talk to you later.
John, we'll do it again, brother. Be good.